This story is actually kind of old, almost 2 months, but I just saw it and it is shocking. Get this. Illegal immigrants are hiring people to stage robberies so they can get something called a U visa when you're the victim of a crime. You're allowed to stay in the country to deal with that crime. So they are faking crimes to get fake visas. Well, uh-oh. The robbery for hire business went bad when a dude witnessing what he thought was a robbery killed one of the dudes staging these robberies. Check this story out from Fox 26. Fiancé of man killed in staged robbery for U visa speaks out, once charged with murder. They say in January, Fox 26 reported on what police thought was a robbery turned homicide when a bystander shot the robber. But an investigation now shows the robbery was fake. 22-year-old Rashad Scott was staging a robbery that two victims were in on when Jesus Vargas, a bystander, shot and killed him. Court records say that Scott was working with William X. Winfrey, who instructed Scott to stage the robbery in exchange for money. The documents say the two victims were in on the robbery so they could file for U visas, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. A U visa is granted to victims of certain crimes to aid law enforcement in solving cases. It grants the victim temporary immigration status, including work authorization, temporary immigration status for qualifying family members of the victim, and the possibility of lawful permanent resident status. I didn't even know. I did not know such a thing existed. Perverse incentive. This is disgusting. And it is insane. In what world did we decide as a nation, hey, if you're the victim of a crime, you get to stay here forever? What? So this is exactly what you get. The famous story is the British colonizing India, I guess, and there was a cobra problem or some kind of snake problem, and they said, bring us the tails of the snakes and we will pay you for them. So what happened? People started breeding snakes. That's right. Snake problem got worse. There's another funny story where apparently there was like a U.S. military base, or like the military was like, hey, we got too many pigs, so we're going to start paying people to kill these pigs. Like you hunt these pigs, you bring in pigtails, and then we'll pay you for them. What happened was this one wasn't even like a serious perverse incentive. You know, with the cobra story, they were breeding the cobras intentionally to sell the tails to the government. With the pigs, this one's funny. They started leaving out high-quality bait to trap the pigs, but they were only shooting the males for whatever reason, because they were hunters. And the high-quality food that was put out resulted in a population boom of the pigs because they were only killing males. If you're being paid to hunt, you're going to be like, why would we want to get rid of the population? You know, we want sustainability here, don't we? Perverse incentive. You tell illegal immigrants, if you're the victim of a crime, you can get a visa. But I mean, even outside of staging crimes, I'm going to go hang out in the worst possible neighborhood imaginable. What's the highest crime rate in the country? That's my free pass, isn't it? Ridiculous. They say court records say Scott was willingly working. The documents say the two victims were in on the robbery so they could file for U visas. They say you get lawful status. Court documents say police found telegram messages between Scott and Winfrey coordinating the staged robbery. Documents stating that the two had staged at least two robberies with the same method before, saying they did one the night before Scott was killed on January 26 on 4400 Lockwood Drive at the Swift gas station. In that case, both victims submitted for U visas, and one of them received one. Another documented case is from February 27th, 2023 at 6601 Gessner Road. The documents say all three people who claimed to be victims applied for and were granted U visas. Man. Winfrey is now charged with murder in the killing. Sade Beverly, Scott's fiance, says she's now left to raise their two children alone. You know what, man? This stuff really grinds my gears. He didn't deserve what happened to him at all. He was making a dumb decision. I'm not defending him, of course, but he didn't deserve to die. I don't know what deserve means. What does deserve mean? And honest question. Let me check out the Oxford Dictionary. Do something or have or show qualities worthy of reward or punishment. I suppose that means the dude did deserve it. right? I hate to say it because he didn't deserve to die. But the problem is, this is the foregone conclusion. That's why I ask, what does deserve mean? Usually when you say the word deserve, you're saying that someone should have something happen to them. Well, let me clarify this. People shouldn't die, man. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to get hurt. But what do you think is going to happen? If we're using the word deserve in the sense of doing something that results in something else happening, then this is the foregone conclusion. If there's a viral video of a guy who was staging a robbery, doing a prank YouTube channel, and his buddy is buying a bus pass or something, and then he runs up and grabs the guy and starts fighting with him. Bystanders run up and just sock the dude right in the face. Bang! And he's like, it's a prank, and his face is all bloody and messed up. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What is wrong with you, man? Or the dude, this is crazy, because this happened not too far away from us. At the mall in Leesburg, a prankster was getting in the face of a DoorDash delivery driver holding a phone up to his head. And the guy's like, get away from me, dude. What are you doing? And then the driver pulled his gun and shot him. He's allowed to have a gun. YouTube pranksters still doing this stuff. What do you think's going to happen, man? I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of this. You stage a robbery for an illegal, fraudulent attempt at a visa, and a bystander's trying to save people from death opens fire on you. What did you think was going to happen? And now this guy's fiance is saying he's the one behind the trigger. He's the one who made that decision. Well, apparently the dude who shot was on probation and not legally allowed to have a gun, they say. The decision to charge Vargas has been sent to a grand jury. No records indicate he has been sent back. He has been sent back at this point. There are no records indicating whether people who allegedly posed as victims have been charged. Nobody's talking about the real issue, and that's gun laws. They need to change, she said. I don't see how people are able to say it's okay to take somebody's life. It's never okay. In the defense of others. Now, if this guy should not have had a gun, then you got an issue, because through due process, your rights can be curtailed. But we got to do something about this. We got to take this seriously. The dudes who staged the robbery should both, one guy died. The other guy should get murder. He should get first-degree murder. He should be responsible for that first degree. He planned and premeditated this. And the outcome is exactly what you'd expect. I was watching this poker video. It's somewhat unrelated, but it's still very interesting for those that are familiar. It was Negreanu, great poker player, playing against Botez, a newer poker player, but she's like a chess champion. And I know it's seemingly unrelated, but bear with me. There's this thing that Negreanu was talking about with poker tournaments and the World Series and the big events, and it's like people wear sunglasses and masks and hoodies, and then they sit down. And he's like, unquestionably, wearing sunglasses and a mask and all that stuff, it's an advantage, and it shouldn't be allowed because some people just don't do it. They should. He said, imagine what poker would look like if everybody just covered their faces in every possible way for a maximum advantage and didn't talk and you're watching the most boring thing in the world. He was like, it shouldn't be allowed. The reason why I thought that was interesting was no one really cares that someone wears sunglasses at a poker table. It's stupid wearing sunglasses at night, but we know why you're doing it because it's an advantage. And the reason I bring that up is you allow this YouTube prankster to harass people in a mall. He gets shot, and then you allow it again. I blame YouTube. I blame you, YouTube. These pranksters who are getting in people's faces. There's one guy who hired a bodyguard. He goes around live streaming. They're called harassment streamers, and they harass people. And we allow it? We should not. The moment there was one guy got bit by a dog, everyone's laughing at him, but he loves it. It's good for views. Now he's more famous. These people are harassment. Why are we allowing any of this? YouTube should ban all the prank channels. You want to do staged pranks and gags for fun? There's one where it's like a girl, there's 4 buckets of change, and she asks for help, and the guy walks over and he can't lift them because they're super heavy. And then someone like waves to him, he turns around, they spin the whole thing around on a pedestal, and then she looks at him like, what's wrong? And then She grabs two super light ones, or no, I think it's something like that. She has like two really light buckets that she puts on a table, and then they could spin it around and switch them for heavy ones. Like, those pranks are totally fine. But this idea that you're going to go around harassing people, we allow this, you're going to get people killed. That's why I brought up like the poker thing. You look at what's going on here. These guys need to go to jail. They are responsible for the murder, the ones who staged this. The migrants, the illegal immigrants who hired them, should be deported immediately. I'd say they should go to prison and be charged with first-degree murder as well. But they're not citizens here, so no. They should be sent back home. Actually, no, take it back. Take it back. Maybe we do need to take the people who hired them to do it and charge them with first-degree murder and make sure all of the other illegal immigrants know, yeah, we're gonna put you in maximum security and whatever that entails. You orchestrated and premeditated a murder. You paid the price for that one. However, my friends, either way, one thing needs to change. We should not grant visas because you're a victim of a crime. Sorry. That's it. It's absolutely insane. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.